All right. Okay. All right. So, this is an wow. Oh shit, I'm lagging a little bit. Sorry. This is something I was sorry. Sorry. This is something I was avoiding kind of to talk about and stuff, but I played the game, so I gotta talk about my opinions on the game. This game is just fucking surrounded, like fucking crazy surrounded by controversy. It's fucking unbelievable how much controversy this fucking game has, and it's I get it. I understand why people are so passionate about The Last of Us Part 2 because the first Last of Us was just an amazing game. It's probably in my like top 5, top 7 favorite video games of all time. It is so fucking great. Great game. So good. So good, guys. And I was curious about Last of Us Part 2. I still stand by the just natural course that Last of Us didn't need a sequel. The Last of Us, the first Last of Us, is a great standalone game. It doesn't need a sequel. It's got a perfect ending. It's very gritty. It's a very raw. It's about finding a relationship again, finding love again. Ellie finds love for Joel with a father, and Joel finds Ellie, and it's like a daughter figure and stuff. And it's a very beautiful story. It's also a very fucked up ending. Like the ending to The Last of Us Part 1 is just it's a very deep ending. It is just whoa, it blows you away how great the ending to The Last of Us is, and I loved the game. I wasn't even a gamer at the time, but I played The Last of Us, and it felt very cinematic, and I thought it was a brilliant, brilliant game. I've beaten it 3 times. I love it every single time. I think it's a terrific game. Great characters. Joel and Ellie are both amazing characters. The relationship and the journey they go on is so great. It's basically a human story with zombies in it. Zombies is not the forefront of the plot. It is about Joel and Ellie and them almost finding themselves. And it's just an interesting, compelling story. It's a raw and brutal story, but it's fantastic. Beautifully written, wonderfully voice acted, and just it's mesmerizing. I think it's the best PS3 game ever made. It's one of the greatest PlayStation games ever made, and one of the greatest video games ever made. So Part 2, I was curious, and I was pretty excited for Last of Us Part 2. I still thought, like, they don't really need a sequel, but I'm curious to see, like, do Ellie's story and stuff, see what's happening with her and stuff. And then all of a sudden, months ago, or a month ago, I think, someone from Naughty Dog got laid off and just spoiled and leaked the whole plot to Last of Us Part 2. And people lost their fucking shit. And people canceled their pre-orders. People are boycotting this game. It's getting fucking crazy. And yeah, in this review is spoiler free. I am not going to spoil this game. I can't spoil it. I think it's unfair. It just came out. I think me spoiling it would just ruin it. Like, honestly, if you want it spoiled, you can just go online. There's a bajillion people who've talked about in-depth spoilers of this game. So if you want spoilers, you can find many spoilers all over the internet. Like, and they're all true. There's no false assumptions. They're all fucking true. And yeah, okay, let's just talk about my opinion. This is my honest opinion on The Last of Us Part 2. Someone who just literally beat the game with my cousin. Me and my cousin played it together. We played at his house because we were at his house for a few days. And he bought The Last of Us Part 2. I didn't buy it. He bought it. And we just played together. We took turns playing the game. We beat it together as a team. And we both have very different opinions on the game. And I'm trying not to go political with this game. I'm trying not to, because everyone's going very political with The Last of Us Part 2, that they're pushing a social justice So the SJW message with the game and stuff. It's trying to destroy all the male characters or the white male characters. And a lot of people are accusing that of this and everything, and they're destroying characters. They're what they represent, like Joel and Ellie and stuff. And a lot of people just find it a very disrespectful game, and a lot of people find it a very progressive game. And it's about time they made a very interesting game like this and brought in, like, trans characters and stuff like that. So some people are very, like, think this is one of the greatest video games, like, ever made in the past decade and shit. And some people think it's the most overrated piece of crap and a waste of time. You know what? It's weird. I see both sides, actually. I understand both sides. I understand why someone would hate this game. I completely get it. If someone said to me this game was a piece of shit, I understand. I understand where they're coming from. And if someone calls this an amazing masterpiece of a work, I get that too. I understand. There's a lot to love in this game. There's a lot to hate too, though. I'm very mixed. I'm one of the rarities that don't love it or hate it. Go figure, huh? People are bashing it. The Metacritic score, the critics are giving it like a 95%, and then the fans are giving it like a 3 out of 10. And it's weird. I see both sides. I think most of the critics are judging the style in the visuals more than the actual story. And I get that, but and I think the fans are just very angry of what they did to some of these characters, and just I get that too. I really get it. Let's talk about the stuff I liked first. How about that? I always want to start with positivity. The world, the visuals, amazing, just fucking breathtaking. The world, the grass feels like real grass. It's just amazing. The zombies look fucking terrifying. The character designs are really cool. It's just amazing. Just incredible. I thought Final Fantasy VII had some of the best visuals of a video game this year, but I think this almost beats it. Last of Us Part 2's visuals are incredible. Just remarkable. Also, the score. The music is kick-ass. What a great score. It's the only thing this one has over the first one, really. Everything the first one does better. But the one thing this one does better than the first one is the score. The score, epic. I would download the score to this. This is a kick-ass score. Really sets the tone and the mood perfectly, and it's just fucking awesome. And so yeah, visuals great. Score, badass. Some of the gameplay is really cool. It's very similar to the first game. Very, very, very similar. But some of it's pretty cool. The movement isn't clunky at all. It's really, really persistent, very smooth, and just really great. The atmosphere is also really great, very bleak and stuff. They really know how to do like atmosphere very well, very chilling. There's some fucking jump scares that really get you too. They're pretty fucking good. I'm like, what the score? The atmosphere, 10 out of 10s all across. The story isn't good though. I have to just say that. It's not a good story. It's not. It's a simple revenge story. And it's not a very good revenge story. It's not. It doesn't actually make a lick of sense because of how it ends. This is probably the shittiest endings to a video game I've seen in a long time. It is a ridiculous ending. The ending, I won't spoil it, but it's so fucking stupid. It's not good. It's a horrible way to end this game. I'm like, huh? What? Like, I think this entire game would have been a good game, at least. A good game. I had a lot of problems with the story and a lot of character choices and just characters in general I just like, and I just found very boring. I would have forgiven all of that if the ending had a good payoff. I thought the video game is going in a certain direction with the ending. And it doesn't. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? You serious now? Like, I was irritated how stupid that ending was. Like, we were building to something throughout the whole game for the revenge. And I guess a minor spoiler, they don't get their revenge. So that was a waste of fucking time. I was looking forward to the whole game to get my revenge and kill this fucker. But it doesn't happen. Like, what? Horseshit. That's like watching John Wick, and John Wick doesn't get the bad guy who killed his dog. That's like what it is. It's like John Wick doesn't get the bad guy. He like finds fucking Theon Greyjoy and goes to him, points a gun at him, and says, "You know what? I forgive you. It's fine. It's fine. I killed all these people to get to you, but you know what? I forgive you, man. I forgive you. I caused too much chaos. I forgive you." I'm like, fuck that shit. Kill that fucker. Like, what? Fuck that. It's like, I don't know. It's irritating. I know. I think I feels like I spoiled something, but if you haven't read any of the spoilers, you don't know what I'm talking about. But when you play the game, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But fuck, that was ridiculous. Just what the fuck is what the fuck? Literally, the ending almost destroyed the game for me. I'm just like, oh my god, I was looking forward to this ending. It didn't pay off. Zero payoff. Fuck. Joel and Ellie are back. They're fine. Perfectly fine. Not as like compelling as they were in the first one. And because it's a revenge story, it's filled with a lot of grotesque. It's very brutal, but honestly, some moments get a little too brutal. At least the first Last of Us had some funny moments here and there, enjoyable, lighthearted, caring moments, some touching moments with Joel and Ellie. And Ellie's foul mouth as this little kid with his mouth. Oh, it always killed me in the first Last of Us. Like, she's like telling the zombies to go fuck themselves. It was funny. There's a lot of funny moments in Last of Us. There's nothing funny in this game. They put no comedy in this game. I know it's not a comedy game, but they put nothing lighthearted in this game. It's just this very depressing game until the ending, and it just gets even more depressing. But yeah, it's almost a little too depressing, too grotesque for no reason. I get the zombie apocalypse, but it's a little too. I think it goes a little too far with it. That's just personal. That's a personal opinion. I think it's a little too grotesque for me, but I also think a lot of the characters are either too unlikable or too fucking boring. Other than Joel and Ellie. Joel and Ellie, they're back in this game. Ellie's great. Again, she's not as cool as she was in the first one, but she's still great. And Joel, for what he does in this game, he's great. Seeing Joel again. Everyone else is very boring. Or just a flat out unlikable piece of shit. So I'm just like, I don't give a fuck about any of these people. Joel and Ellie are the people I love, and I wanted the whole game to be about Joel and Ellie. That is not the case. That is not the case. It's quite a bit about Ellie, but it's also about someone else. I have no fucking idea why. I don't know why they chose to go that direction. I'm like, what? Why wasn't the first half about Joel? And then something happens, and the last part's about Ellie, and then it's revenge. Why didn't they just do that? People want to play the game because they love Joel and Ellie. I don't give a fuck about these new people. I don't care about these new people. They're boring to me. They're unlikable. I don't give a shit. I like Joel and I like Ellie. Give me Joel and Ellie. I don't know. I guess Naughty Dog's like, no, that's not what the fans want. Even though the first Last of Us was a great game, but that's not what the fans want. They want new characters, new boring characters. Apparently, Naughty Dog is William Shatner from Star Trek. I just think it's an okay game. I'm not going to give a grade. I don't want to spoil too much because, again, the game just came out. Maybe I'll do a whole spoiler section for the game. If you guys want me to just talk in-depth spoilers, just let me know in the comments below. Let me know down in the comments below. I'll make a second video talking about every fucking spoiler in this game and everything that I fucking hated. I'll talk all in-depth if you guys want that. If you want that. If that happens, some people might hate my guts, though. And I don't want that. So, just let me know if you want me to talk spoilers. If not, my honest opinion, it's an okay game. It's fine. It's not worth the full price. I'd say if it was like $30 or $40, then sure. Again, beautiful visuals, great score, chilling atmospheric moments. The gameplay is really smooth and pretty cool. And some of the stuff you can do with Ellie and her weapons and shit, pretty fucking great. It's also a very easy platinum trophy to get. It's not a very hard trophy guy like the first one was. So all of that's great. But it's got a very shitty story with some pretty lazy writing and a lot of despicability in it, and just a lot of dark, depressing shit that just kind of depresses me. And just, yeah, it's not a very interesting game. It's cool to look at, but it's not that interesting or very compelling. And it's nowhere near on the scale as the first one. When people call it better than the first one, I am very confused. I'm like, did we play the same game? This is better than the first one. Did we play the same game? I don't know. But that's what opinions are, though. People have different opinions. Like, if someone wants to call this game a masterpiece, they have every right to call it a masterpiece. That's just the way they feel. And if someone wants to call it a piece of shit and the worst game ever, they have every right to do that. Everyone has different thoughts and opinions. My opinions are just kind of like in the middle. It's a very, I'd say, average, maybe slightly below average game. It's between like a 5 and a 6 out of 10 for me. It's just kind of meh for me. I'm glad I didn't buy it. My cousin paid full price for it, and I'm glad I played it with him. Because I got to like take little breaks while he was playing because I didn't want to play the whole thing. But it's fine. Not as good as the first one. If you're looking for a game who's good as the first, you're not going to get it. If you want a good zombie game, play Days Gone with Sam Witwer. That's a fucking amazing. That game's badass. Days Gone. That's a great game. This one, very mediocre. So that was my honest opinion of The Last of Us Part 2 without getting too political or too negative or too positive about it. You just want a straight up opinion from someone who doesn't have an agenda on his hands. Like, I don't want to be one of those haters, and I don't want to be one of those people thinking it's the greatest thing ever. I'm giving you just a straight up, honest opinion. It's just okay. That's all it is. People are getting a little worked up for nothing for a very kind of game. Honestly, we still have the first one. First one's still a great game. So those are my honest opinions of The Last of Us Part 2. In the comment section below, please tell me what are your thoughts and opinions on The Last of Us Part 2. Do you think it's amazing? Do you think it's shit? Let me know in the comments below. And yeah, and as always, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side. Oh, God. Peace.